Okay, let's talk about Tyson Fury versus WALLIN. My response and what I think of the fight. The first things first, I would like to say that I like that fight. It was surprisingly entertaining, more entertaining than actually what I thought. I wasn't even going to watch the fight. I only ended up watching the fight because I literally had nothing to do. But I told myself I would catch the results tomorrow in the morning. I really don't care what goes on. But I ended up watching it because I had nothing to do. And the first thing I want to give props to, it's not even a person. I want to give props to the cut that was over Tyson Fury's eye, because that cut is the reason we got such an entertaining fight that we did, because it put urgency on the situation, and it put Tyson Fury in a situation where you see that he had to respond to a sense of urgency, and therefore we got a fight that we wouldn't normally have, because Tyson Fury would have just been sliding into an easy win for the most part. But that cut changed the fight, because you realize at this point he could lose the fight. So your eyes was glued to the screen at that point. When you seen that cut, you was like, okay, he could lose this fight. Let me watch what happens. So that cut, it just heightened and it intensified the whole boxing match. So I'm thankful for that cut, because that's the reason why, it was such exciting, and why everybody was on the edge of their seats like they was watching that fight. Way more surprising and entertaining than I thought it would be. So props to that cut, and WALLIN for doing his thing. Let me see. We're gonna go to some of the responses of some of the professional boxers that watched the match. And first up, we got Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz goes on to say that, oh, there's no way that he beats him with that kind of performance. Not even with his hands tied behind his back does Tyson Fury has a chance to beat Andy Ruiz. And I must admit, this was a flat performance from Tyson Fury. This is not the same Tyson Fury that fought Deontay Wilder. It's easily to see to me. He was very flat on his feet, for number one. His movement wasn't there. His punch selection wasn't there. His jab was only operating on 60% for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a good showing. But compared to what I know Tyson Fury capability of what he can do, this was a flat performance from Tyson Fury. I don't know what was going on. And it's crazy how he looked better with less preparation versus him with much more preparation. Even in his last fight, this wasn't the same. This wasn't the same guy that made his last opponent miss 3 and 4 punches in a row. You know what I'm saying? At the eye of the time, I just didn't know what Tyson Fury was doing. He was doing stuff that was unnatural to me, and I know he had to cut and everything, but he was doing stuff that I know that he's smarter than. Like, he made a lot of lazy mistakes, and I wouldn't even call them mistakes, because I know he know better by what he was doing. And had WALLIN been a more sufficient, more seasoned, more knowledgeable fighter, he would have knocked Tyson Fury out that night, because Tyson Fury made a lot of mistakes, and WALLIN left a lot of opportunity on the table. There are shots that WALLIN could have took that for some strange reason, he just didn't pull the trigger on. He was right there in the pocket with him, and it's like he stopped. I'm not even going to get on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to begin to open that door. But I'm just saying what I seen. There was a lot of missed opportunities by WALLIN, and at some point in the fight, if you go back, he had 3 opportunities where he could have cleaned up Tyson Fury, and he froze, and he didn't do it. So maybe I'll explain that in another video. But this was definitely not the same Tyson Fury that was in his last 2 fights. What's going on with him? I don't know. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good performance. But for a Tyson Fury performance, it was flat. Like, he was not light on his feet at all. The movement wasn't there. The sass, the pizzazz, it just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Although I was proud of Tyson Fury for going hard in the paint, so don't get me wrong. But one thing's for sure, Tyson Fury is no mistake. He deserves any props that he does get. And he shows you that regardless of the kind of people that he fights, Tyson Fury has a championship mentality. He may not want to access it like he should. He may not want to fight the people that he should. But one thing's for sure, if he needs to access it, it is there. Next we have Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford goes on to say, if that was anybody else, the fight would have been stopped. You know what? He's right. He's 100% right. Because the second he sat down in his corner, and I looked at that cut over his, I was like, good God. I was like, this fight is definitely going to be stopped. I knew in the last 3 rounds that they were stretching Tyson Fury. I knew that fight should have been stopped because of that, but I wasn't tripping, because if it was me, and I hate to say it, I would have done the same thing for Tyson Fury, because I didn't want him to go out like that. I'll admit it. I would have done the same thing for Tyson Fury. I wouldn't want him to go out like that, you know? And I don't think nobody did, because he was doing so well. I just don't want to see nobody lose like that. So I knew that they stretched about 3 or 4 rounds for him easily. You know what I'm saying? I knew that then. But should a fight have been stopped, and would it have been stopped with anybody else? Yes. Terrence Crawford is right on that. But like I said, if it was me, I would have extended the same thing for Tyson Fury. I can't even lie. But yeah, that fight should have been stopped because of the cut. And it would have easily been stopped for the cut. And if it was somebody else, yes, that fight would have been stopped for the cut. Regardless of what people want to say. Now, a lot of people are giving praise to Tyson Fury's cut man. I beg to differ. If you look at the corner, you could tell he wasn't prepared to deal with no cut. I mean, he just dealt with a cut with a towel and Vaseline. I'm sorry, but I've watched Stitch Duran. I've watched enough cornermen. Now, I don't know all about cuts and all that. I don't know that aspect of the game, but I do know a little bit about a little bit. And I do know that his corner was ill prepared for that cut. I'm not saying he didn't do a good job. I'm saying he could have did a better job if he had the proper tools in there. You know what I'm saying? If he'd have pinched that skin back with two look like, the same Q-tips that you use for your ears. If he'd have put, I've seen it before. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're supposed to do for a cut. He was supposed to roll that up in between those two Q-tips with some paper towel, put down the pinch, roll, and pull back technique. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking a towel and just mashing it against his forehead, trying to get the blood to slow down so he could put the petroleum jelly up in there. I'm just saying he should have been better prepared for that cut, and that cut wouldn't have been as bad. Now, I'm not saying that he did an all-out shitty job. What I'm saying is he didn't have the right equipment in there with him. So while everybody was giving him praise for that cut, I actually thought he was doing a horrible fucking job. Somebody in the comment section tell me, was I the only one that felt that way? I'm like, because why is he just using that towel? Like, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the tools. I may not know the names, but I semi know the process, and that was not it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my input on that. But other than that, good fight. It wasn't a fight that made Tyson Fury look better. It made him look very mortal, you know. But Otto Wallin, even though Otto Wallin is an undefeated fighter and whatnot, I'm still not going to give props to Otto Wallin like people trying to give him auto props of being an undefeated fighter. He gave him a good fight, but is Otto Wallin an elite fighter? No, he's not. You can easily tell that. I don't care if he gave him a tough fight or not. That's not elite. You know what I'm saying? And he shouldn't have been, Tyson Fury should have been easily able to outthink him. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know why he didn't use his IQ. But overall, entertaining. I was entertained. Tyson Fury needs to figure out what went wrong in his camp, because something did go wrong in his camp, because Otto Wallin wasn't supposed to put up a showing like that for him. You know, and people say this is the problem when a cherry pick goes wrong. Sometimes cherry pick goes wrong, and sometimes the fighter that we know don't show up that day. But either way, it was entertaining. I ain't got no complaints about it. And Tyson Fury does what Tyson Fury do. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury fans love it. They love it. I like it. I ain't got no complaints. I was entertained at the end of the day. Wasn't nothing else going on. It served its purpose. So it is what it is. Anyways, more than welcome to leave your thoughts on the subject matter at hand. And happy Sunday and whatnot. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bruce Payne, I'm out.